Hi, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon, every one of you. So, this is the third hour class. This one, mass transfer operations, we will see. So, similarly, in the morning, whatever we have done, chemical technology 2, the syllabus revision and everything. So, just I will introduce the syllabus. Then, from the next class onwards, we will start the portion. So, same in the morning, whatever I have said, follow the same steps. Go to your teams. Okay, then it will be visible like this. Okay, 2019 batch, your batch. Then go inside. Then here there are channels. In this one, among this one, select this mass transfer operations 1. So the short form will be MTO1. Okay, that is the meaning is mass transfer operations 1. Okay, MTO1 we will call this one. So go to the files next. Then from the files, the same one, first folder will be the assignments. So in this one PDF is there. So list of questions from unit 1 I have given here. So long answer questions, you have to write it, and the due date will be 1/9/2021. So 1st September 2021 is the due date. Before that, you please submit that one. So old question papers are there here. Similarly, PDF will be there. In the PDF, there are many old question papers are there. So all this you can go through that old question papers. Then question bank, the probable questions which we are expecting from this mass transfer operations 1. So whole short answers as well as long answers I have given here. These are only the probable questions. So my perception is, according to my perception, so these questions, whenever you learn all these questions, you can answer any type of questions. Only it will be somewhat critical thinking question they will be giving, but the answer will be same. If you can answer these questions, the standard questions, you can answer anything which is coming from that particular unit. So the first unit, then next one is the second unit. So short answers and long answers. Then next is unit 3. So this also short answers as well as long answers I have given. Then fourth unit, short answers, then long answers. Then unit 5. So this also there are short answers as well as long answers. So when you write these questions in your assignment, you can answer any type of question which is going to come in your end sem exam or in the internal exams also. Same questions. So whatever the assignments I am giving, so try to submit those assignments. If you submit those assignments, it is very easy to answer them in the end sem. Similar questions will be there, not that much deviation questions will be there. So similarly, you can answer accordingly. So this one is unit 1 folder. In this one, so I have uploaded the notebook. So whenever the unit 1 is completed, the whole PPT PDF will be, I will be uploading in this folder only. So this is unit 1 notes, the handwritten notes. You can go through this one. All the whatever the portion, according to your portion, whatever the text is required, everything is there in this one. Apart from this, the Trebal textbook I will be discussing during the syllabus discussion. So that textbook you can refer. Okay, otherwise you can go through this notes. So this notes is containing exhaustive material. Okay, whatever required to answer during the examination. If you want to increase your knowledge, you can refer to the textbook. Okay, handwritten text notebook is there from this one. Similarly, I have arranged for next units also. Unit 2 also one handwritten notebook copy will be there. Unit 3 also same. Unit 4, Unit 5. All things are same. So apart from this one, whatever I have shown in the morning, which is YouTube links. Okay, for the mass transfer, the second link is there. If you just click on this link, Okay, double click on this one, it will be carried towards your channel. So before double clicking this one, you just download from here. After downloading, you just click on the link and you can watch the previous videos which I have taught for your seniors. So what is there in the syllabus? So first of all, mass transfer operations. MTO means mass transfer operations. You remember this one. MTO means mass transfer operation. So this is mass transfer operations one course. Okay, one. Then in the next semester, you will be going to see mass transfer operations 2. So continuity will be there in between these two courses. If you learn this course well, so it will be very easy to learn the next course, which is mass transfer operations 2. So in this one, as you can see the subject code and everything, the objective of this course is to impart a knowledge of purification and separation of complex homogeneous solutions into individual products and also about process design and engineering skills. So generally in every industry, separation is required. Okay, whether it may be a distillation or leaching, extraction, whatever it may be, the separation is inevitable. We have to separate something from something. Okay, for example, let us take the example of this tea preparation. Okay, during the tea preparation, what we will do? We will add some tea powder. We will add some tea powder onto the boiling water, or along with tea powder and the cold water we will add, and then we will try to boil that mixture. Okay, after that one, what happens? Whatever the tea extracts which is there inside the powder, which will be just coming out. Okay, that is called as a process leaching. Okay, please mute your audios. Otherwise, leave the class.
బిర్యానీ కోదాం బ్రో అది 500 వెళ్ళాలి నాకు బ్యాగ్ నా డబ్బులు
Okay, so in everything like tea preparation, if you take that example, there will be a solid tea powder. So that tea powder is nothing but a leachate solid. So whatever the tea composition which is there inside that solid or solute material which is there inside this particular tea solids, so that solute material will be coming out into the water. Okay, then only we are calling as a decoction, that is decoction we will call. So that's decoction we will say in the technical terms. So that decoction, after adding a milk, so you will be getting a tea. So same thing where while we are preparing the decoction, so what happens in that one, that is called as a leaching process. Whatever the solute which is present in that particular solids is coming out and it is transforming into the solid. Then what happens next, that solids, whatever the exhausted solids are there, that we have to separate using some suitable filter. Okay, tea filter, we will be using the tea filter to separate out. So here in the simple example, in the tea preparation also we need a filter or some separation medium. Like in the pharmaceuticals or in the big industries, what happens? Many products we have to separate. Like in the petroleum industry, for example, crude distillation. Last time when we had a guest lecture, what happens? The guest madam has been told us that we have to separate many from the crude oil, many different LPG, gasoline, petrol, this kerosene, okay, naphtha, crude oil, this heavy crude, light crude, okay, heavy fraction, light fraction, okay, coking coals and everything will be there inside that crude oil. Then how to separate that crude oil into some fraction? How we do obtain LPG? How do we obtain petrol, kerosene, and everything? Why we are obtaining that one? Using the distillation only, we could able to obtain all these products from the crude oil, from a single raw material which is called as a crude oil. From the crude oil, this many things we are obtaining: LPG or gasoline, petrol, diesel, kerosene, okay, tar, coal tar, and everything. Where do we obtain? Using the distillation phenomena only, we can obtain this one. So distillation is an integral part of mass transfer operation. We will be discussing more about a distillation column. There are 2 chapters to deal with the distillation, that is unit 2 and unit 3. So then the outcomes, what you will be knowing from this course. So you will be knowing the principles of diffusion. So diffusion, what is this diffusion? For example, let us take the example, whatever we are sensing now, okay, whatever we could able to smell now, okay, air, we are feeling the surrounding air here. Okay, inside this air, for example, if you spray some fragrance inside this air, So after spraying fragrance into our air, we could able to sense, okay, we could able to sense, the human being or this living organisms could able to sense this fragrance. How we are sensing that one? The whatever the fragrance we are spraying into the surrounding air, that is diffusing or that is attaching towards the surrounding air. So because of this only we could able to smell that one. So that phenomena, the transfer of that solute to the surrounding environment, whether it may be liquid diffusion or the gas diffusion or a vapor diffusion, whatever the diffusion is nothing but the solubilizing from one medium to another medium. Okay, first that spray will be inside the can, okay, spray can. Then after spraying, what happens? It will be dissolved into the surrounding air. Then from the surrounding air, it is coming, it is just sensed by our nose. So that is what happening. The simple example, that is diffusion. In our technical terminology, there are many terms will be there. Okay, how to measure that diffusion, how much gas has been diffused, how much liquid has been diffused, how much solute has been diffused. Okay, what velocity, at what velocity it has been diffused, what is the flux of that one. So to measure that one, to quantify that one, there are many terms out there in the mass transfer operations. So all the principles of diffusion, okay, like there is a basic law to govern this diffusion process, which is called as a Fick's first law of diffusion. So you'll be knowing in detail about what is this diffusion, what is the governing equation of mass transfer, this diffusion, which is Fick's first law of diffusion. Everything we could able to know in the first unit. Then next one is you could able to explain the principle of distillation and various types of distillations. Okay, there are many distillations like vacuum distillation. Whenever there is a chance that thermal degradation of some material will be happening. So then what happens? So in order to not to have that much thermal degradation, we have to reduce the pressure. So whenever we are going reducing the pressure, then that region is called as a vacuum region. So that is called as a vacuum distillation. Then whenever there is a third component, adding of third component and separating our mixture, okay, that is called as a extractive distillation or some azeotropic distillation. When the boiling points are very near, two different components boiling points are very near, then what happens? Simple heating is not at all workable there. So we have to add a third component so that one component selectively can solubilize into the other one. So that's because there are many distillations: extractive distillation, vacuum distillation, azeotropic distillation, okay, then normal distillation. Okay, there are many types of distillations are there. We will be seeing that one in detail. So second unit will be giving you completely the details about a simple distillation, batch distillation we can call, or the flash distillation we can call, okay, or a continuous distillation. To some extent we will be discussing here, along with other types of distillation like vacuum distillation, extractive distillation, then azeotropic distillation. Then next unit will be the unit 3, in which one we will be paying a special attention towards the continuous distillation. So continuous distillation is also called as a fractionation unit. So you will be analyzing in detail about the fractionation column using the McCabe-Thiele method. So spelling is wrong, MCCAB, M small c then CAB, capital CAB. So McCabe-Thiele method. So this method will give you how many plates, okay, how many trays are required to happen a certain separation process in a distillation column. That you will be seeing what is this method in detail. So this is a design procedure. Actually, this is a design procedure for the distillation column. So you'll be knowing more about the McCabe-Thiele method in the third unit itself. Then in the second unit, so I am once again detailing this one. In the second unit, you will be knowing more about the simple distillation or batch distillation or flash distillation. You will be knowing only two types of distillation in detail you will be knowing. And apart from this one, a little introduction about continuous distillation or fractional distillation you will be knowing. And apart from that distillations, many types of distillation like vacuum, extraction, azeotropic, you will be knowing. Then whatever we have just introduced, the continuous distillation column or fractionation column in the unit 2 will be carried forward to the unit 3. So these are two connected units. So in the unit 3, a continuous distillation column or fractionation column in detail, how to design that particular fractionation column, we will be analyzing in unit 3. Then next comes the unit 4, in which we will be discussing more about the leaching. Okay, leaching is nothing but a solid to liquid operation. So whatever the solute which is there in the solid, that will be coming into the liquid solution. So same example which we can take is a tea preparation. Okay, tea preparation or coffee extraction. All these are the examples for the distillation leaching operations. Then last unit will be the extraction operation. So after learning this extraction operation, you could able to explain the principles of extraction and extraction equipment. So here see, this leaching and extraction is somewhat resemble. Okay, they are very relevant. So in this one, leaching solid to liquid operation. So solute will be present in the solid, but here in the extraction, popularly known as liquid extraction. So the solute will be present in the liquid. Okay, from that liquid, using its another liquid, we have to separate the solute. But here in the leaching, the solute will be present in the solid. Using another liquid, we will be separating the solute from the solid. So this is leaching is a solid to liquid operation. Then extraction is a liquid to liquid operation. So what is the true meaning of this solid liquid operation, liquid liquid operation? I will be discussing more detail when we are going through the unit one further units. So these are the objectives and outcomes for these courses. So there are 60 lectures will be there in this mass transfer operations. So if you could able to grasp this course very well, so next will be the mass transfer operations 2 in the 6th semester. So that will be having a number of lectures will be very high for that one. 75 lectures will be there. So meaning the toughness of the course will be increased. So because of this reason, so you have to be careful in learning this course first. If you could able to learn this course very well, then the next semester course will be very, very easy. Otherwise, you cannot answer the next semester courses. So that will be carrying forward a toughness to the next courses. So I just request you to pay the special attention towards this course, since this is the introductory course for you. Okay, we are introducing the mass transfer operations in the 5th semester only. Earlier, you have not learned about mass transfer operations. Nowhere you have learned that one. So now you pay a special attention towards this one and quickly try to learn the each unit details in detail. Then you could able to answer everything in the mass transfer operations 2 course, which is you probably going to see in the next semester. So I'll be detailing the units. So unit 1 will be the principles of diffusion. So whatever the diffusion I have said with the examples of just a fragrance. So what is the role of diffusion in mass transfer? So what is mass transfer first? Okay, first see, as the name indicates, mass is getting transformed from one form to another form, or from one region to another region, whatever it may be, one region or one place to another place, or one form to one phase to another phase, whatever it may be, mass is getting transformed. Okay, mass is getting transformed. So to measure a mass, there are many macroscopic scales are there, microscopic scales are there, okay, nanoscales, everything is there. So what we are going to discuss here is the relevant part in this unit. So I will be discussing in detail about the mass transfer. What type of mass transfer we are going to handle. So mass transfer, you just remember this title of the course itself is the resemblance of its objective. So mass we have to transform from one place to another place, or from one form to another form. So that is called as a mass transfer. So whole operation, the transformation of this mass from one form to another form, or one region to another region, or one place to another place is called as a mass transfer operation. So this is the operation. That's why we are calling it as a mass transfer operation. So you just remember that mass transfer operation we are going to learn in detail. So what is the role of this diffusion in the mass transfer operation? Without diffusion, there is no mass transfer. So some solubilizing something we have to solubilize, or something we have to extract from that one. So distillation plays a very important, diffusion plays a very important role in the mass transfer operation. So molal flow rates, okay, whenever the mass is getting transformed, how much mass is getting transformed, or what quantity it is getting transformed. To quantify that one, qualitatively we can say that when we are spraying some spray, or some fragrance, okay, some fragrance, like whenever you will be using a body spray, okay, so that body spray, how much you are spraying, you don't know. Whenever you are spraying from your bottle of a fragrance, you don't know how much you are spraying. One spray, two spray, you can count that one, but you cannot quantify that this much fragrance I have used on my body or on my clothes. You cannot quantify that one. So until and unless you know what is the velocity of that one, okay, what is the concentration of that one which is there inside that bottle, okay, or concentration of that fragrance inside that bottle. To quantify that one, there are many quantities are there. Molar fluxes we can say, mass flux we can say, okay, velocity, okay, in terms of velocities we can say, there are many quantities, okay, to quantify the flow rate. Okay, in fluid mechanics you have seen mass is m dot is equal to rho us. Okay, this is a continuity equation. Okay, mass flow rate is equal to m dot is equal to rho us, which is rho is the density, u is the velocity, s is equal to cross sectional area. So when you conduct a product of rho into u into s, then you can equate that as a mass flow rate, kg per second. Okay, mass rate. That is a continuity equation. Similarly, here also some equations will be there to quantify the mass here. So that we will see in detail here, this one. Then relationship between diffusivities and diffusion. So diffusivities and diffusion. Okay, what is diffusion coefficient will be there. In order to quantify that diffusion, this is similar to the velocity. Okay, in terms of mass transfer diffusion, we will call the velocity as a diffusivities. Okay, DAB, we will be indicating that as a DAB. So what is the diffusivity coefficient, or what is the diffusivities, and what type of role it will be played in the diffusion? Using the fixed first law of diffusion, we will be learning more about this diffusivity or diffusion coefficients. The diffusivity in liquids. So this is diffusivity in gases. Then for the similarly diffusivity in liquids also we will see. Then mass transfer coefficient. So at the convective conditions, okay, at the convective conditions, I think in this semester only you will be learning about heat transfer. So heat transfer and mass transfer courses are somewhat relevant. Okay, largely they are very much relevant. Whatever the equations we are using in the mass transfer will be used in the heat transfer. So compared to heat transfer, mass transfer is somewhat advanced course. Okay, somewhat advanced course. If you can clearly know that heat transfer also, understanding mass transfer will be very easy. Okay, you need to pay special attention towards the heat transfer also. So many correlations, many formulas are somewhat similar in the heat transfer as well as mass transfer here. So mass transfer coefficient in the convective region, okay, in the convective regions, so we will be using a mass transfer coefficients. Okay, from one region to another region, mass, how it is transforming. To know that one, we will be using a mass transfer coefficient. Similar type of terminology will be involved in the heat transfer, that is a heat transfer coefficient. Okay, here it is a mass transfer coefficient. Okay, there are many theories how the mass is getting transformed from one region, gas phase to liquid phase, or liquid phase to gas phase, or solid phase to liquid phase, or solid phase to gas phase. How this transformation will take place? There are many theories out there. Okay, like a film theory, penetration theory, surface renewal theory. Okay, that many theories are there. So we will be discussing here only film theory, surface renewal theory, then penetration theory, and two film theory. Or we can call as a two film or two resistance theory. So that theories we will be discussing in detail in this topic. Then next last topic on this unit is experimental measurement of mass transfer coefficient by wetted wall tower. So wetted wall tower we can call, or wetted wall column we can call. So to measure that mass transfer coefficient, we will be using a laboratory setup column, one column, which is called as a wetted wall column. That we are going to see that one later. The next one is unit 2. In the unit 2, as I said you, this is completely about the distillation column. This is one type of separation operation in which, based on the boiling point or based on the relative volatility of the constituent components of a mixture, we will be separating. Okay, if boiling point is very high, if the boiling point is very high, what happens? To boil that particular component, we will require large amount of heat. If the boiling point is very low, to heat that, okay, to transform that particular component from liquid phase to gas phase, the heat required will be very low. Okay, the boiling point, you just learn what is the boiling point before coming to the next class. What is the relative volatility, what is boiling point, okay, what is the Raoult's law? You might have seen the Raoult's law, Henry's law, Dalton's law, all these laws in the CPP course, chemical process principles course. Okay, just thoroughly revise that one. Anyway, I am going to cover it once again. Just try to revise that one, so that if you have any doubts, you can ask me. You can stop me there and you can ask there. So what is the relative volatility? What is the boiling point diagram? Okay, PXY diagram, TXY diagram. There are many diagrams on there. Temperature composition diagram, pressure composition diagram. All these diagrams you will be learning in this particular topic. Then Raoult's law. Okay, Raoult's law, P is equal to partial pressure is equal to total pressure into mole fraction in the vapor phase. Then in the liquid phase, partial pressure is equal to mole fraction into vapor pressure. So there are Raoult's law for the liquid phase as well as Raoult's law for the gas phase is there. Then the summation of partial pressures is equal to total pressure, which is given by Dalton's law. Then Henry's law for the dilute solution, P is equal to H into X. H is equal to Henry's law constant. X is equal to composition, P is equal to partial pressure. Like there are many concepts of Raoult's law and Henry's law. in which law is applicable at what place, at high concentration which law is applicable, at low concentration which law is applicable. We will be dealing in a conceptual way in this one. The next topic will be types of distillation. So as I said types of distillation, we will be discussing batch distillation, flash distillation, then to some extent we will be discussing the continuous distillation in the unit 2. So batch distillation, we will be calling this as a simple distillation. Then next one is the in this batch distillation, when we are just theoretically discussing that one, we will be having one derivation, this one. So that derivation, the ultimate final equation of that derivation is called as a Rayleigh's equation. So this is very important question, Rayleigh's equation. The next type of distillation is a flash distillation, or we can call it as a equilibrium distillation. So simple or batch distillation both are same, and flash or equilibrium distillation both are same. So in order to evaluate this flash distillation, we will be deriving one derivation. So that is called as a operating line equation. Then we will be discussing in detail about this one. And to some extent, the next distillation is a continuous distillation. Only details of this rectifying column. Okay, in the continuous distillation column, top section is called as a rectifying section, bottom section is called as a stripping section. So why they are called as a rectifying and stripping section, in detail qualitatively we will be discussing in this unit 2. But the same, this distillation column, continuous distillation column will be continued. Same topic we will be discussing more in the unit 3. Okay, this is qualitative here. Here is quantitative way. The next one is the mass and energy balance. So while deriving this rectifying column operating line and stripping section operating line, we will be using the mass and energy balance equations inside this distillation column. The next is the steam distillation, vacuum distillation, extractive distillation, azeotropic distillation. Everything we will be discussing as a auxiliary topics in this particular unit 2. So their principle, working, advantages, disadvantages. Okay, everything we'll be discussing in this unit 2 last topic. The next one, whatever we are discussing in the second unit. So our special emphasis will be on the continuous distillation column now. So which is analysis of fractionating column or continuous distillation column by McCabe-Thiele method. Okay, MC, this is not E, MC McCabe-Thiele method. So that McCabe-Thiele method is used to calculate number of stages or number of plates which is required for the distillation column for a desired degree of separation. So how to do that one, we will be knowing in detail. So before doing this McCabe-Thiele operation, we will be dividing the continuous column into two sections, top section as the rectifying section and bottom section as a stripping section. After dividing this one, we will be finding what is the operating line for the top section and what is the operating line for the bottom section. So that is called as a enriching line, which is top section, and stripping line, which is called as a bottom section. So depending on the conditions of it, there are 5 different conditions of it, like a saturated liquid, saturated vapor, or cold liquid, subcold liquid, superheated vapor. Okay, there are many feeds are there. Depending on these feeds, so that operating lines will be deviating from one place to another place. So depending on that using that operating lines on a graph paper, we will be calculating number of plates which is required, number of ideal stages, or we can call number of stages or number of trays which is required to operate that particular distillation column for a desired degree of separation. Okay, then the next topic will be the partial and total condenser. So top section of the distillation column will be containing a condenser. Okay, a condenser will be there. So why to operate that condenser? Top section of a distillation column, you will be receiving the vapor composition. So to convert that vapor into the liquid, we have to condense that vapor. Okay, we have to remove the heat from the vapor. So after condensing that one, we will be getting a liquid composition. So when we are partly recycling that particular liquid to the column, so that is one type of condenser. When we are totally removing, okay, product is totally collecting or somewhat partially recycling back to the column. So that will be called as a different condenser. So the concept of partial condenser and total condenser will be we will be discussing in detail in the one class in the unit 3. Then reflux ratio. So reflux ratio means whatever the condenser, whatever the liquid is coming from the condenser, if you just recycle back some part of the liquid to the column, so that is called as a reflux. So that will be a reflux ratio we will call it. So what is the minimum reflux ratio? What is the maximum reflux ratio? What is the optimum reflux ratio? What is the total reflux condition? In a qualitative way and as well as quantitative way we are discussing in detail here what is that reflux ratio. Then types of efficiency, the overall column efficiency for the desired degree of separation. So that efficiencies we will be discussing here. Then overall column efficiency, Murphy plate efficiency, Murphy point efficiency. Okay, these three types of efficiencies we will be discussing here. Then the last topic of this unit 3 will be factors influencing plate efficiency. What are the various factors which are influencing the plate efficiency? So only 5 to 6 factors will be there. We will be discussing in detail in that one. Then next one will be the unit 4. In this unit 4, the leaching operation, we will be discussing more about the leaching operation. The best example for leaching operation is this one, tea preparation or coffee preparation is the best example for this filter coffee preparation. So this is the best example for this leaching operation. What happens whenever somebody is filtering preparing a filter coffee? So in the coffee beans, whatever the solute, which is nothing but caffeinated solute, so that will be coming out whenever we are adding that beans to the boiling water. Okay, that boiling water will be act as a solvent, so that it will be just impinging into that solids and it will be just taking out the solute component from the beans. So that is the best example for this leaching operation. Similarly, in the industry also, in the minings, in the pharmaceutical, nearly every industry will use this leaching operation. Especially in the pharmaceutical industry, this leaching operation will play a major role there. Okay, in the mining industry, in the metallurgical industry, steel industries, this leaching operation is very, very inevitable there. So what is leaching operation we will define. Then afterwards a simple introduction to leaching operation, examples of leaching operation, then various industrial applications of leaching operation we will see as a start of this unit. Then various types of leaching, like a heap leaching. Okay, the particles, coarse particle leaching we will call heap leaching. Then intermediate particle size leaching. So in between medium size particles, this will be using. And for the very fine particles, we will be using fine particle leaching. So this will be large lumps. For the large lumps, we will be using this heap leaching. For the medium size particles, we will be using intermediate particle size leaching. Then for the very small size particles or fine particles, we will be using fine particles leaching. So all these leaching operations we will be discussing in detail. Then what are the leaching equipments which are required? Okay, depending on this type of leachings, we will be classifying various different types of equipments like a stationary solid bed, moving bed extractor, Boltzmann extractor, Hildebrand extractor. Okay, all this we will be discussing in detail what type of extractor we have to use for each type of cases. Then dispersed solid leaching, everything will be coming under leaching equipments. Then principles of continuous countercurrent leaching. So in the single stage operation, what happens? Only one single stage leaching operation equipment will be there. But whenever we are required to operate in a multi-stage operation, so there will be a connection problem. We have to connect the streams in a counter-current fashion or in a co-current fashion or in a cross-current fashion. So that we will be discussing in detail in this one. So here also similarly in the distillation, number of stages required is there. Similarly here also number of ideal stages required to operate a leaching operation. So that we will be estimating once again using the graphical procedure. Before estimating that one, we have to derive operating line equation. Okay, for the constant overflow, underflow and variable underflow. The number of ideal stages, how to find that one using a graphical procedure, I will be discussing in detail for a constant underflow and variable underflow operations. And the last unit will be the extraction operation. So extraction operation. So many pharmaceutical products can be extracted using this extraction operation. So only difference between this leaching and extraction operation is in the leaching, the raw material or the solute where situated is there in the solid form. But whereas the solute or the raw material will be in there in the liquid form in the extraction. That is called liquid extraction. So the best title for this extraction operation is liquid extraction. Whereas this leaching is also called as a extraction, but that is solid liquid extraction is called as a leaching, whereas liquid extraction is called as a simple extraction. So extraction equipments, we will be discussing general introduction will be provided for extraction. What is extraction? What are the industrial uses? What are the examples of extraction operation? Then afterwards, we will be dealing with the equipments which are required for extraction like mixer and settler. So mixer and settler. So first we have to mix the solvent with the raw material. then that is called as a mixing. After that, whatever the material is there after mixing, that will be settled down. Okay, from the settler we will be separating using some suitable filter. So that is called as a mixer and settler. It's a very easy equipment as well as very important equipment for the extraction operation. Then the extraction equipment like spray extraction equipment, packed extraction towers, perforated plate towers, baffle towers, all these are the extraction equipments we are going to see in detail. Okay, like a spray. So spray means is just as the name indicates, it is spraying. The solute will be sprayed. Okay, we can see the milk powder. Okay, the milk powder, how the milk powder will be prepared? So using the milk only it will be prepared. So milk will be heated until it is solidified. Somewhat it is solidified. After that one, that liquid will be sprayed into the spray column. By contacting with the heated surfaces, that liquid milk will be converted into a solid powder. So that powder only we are seeing in the milk powder. So the best example for that one is the milk powder, the spray column. Then packed column will be there, you might be seeing this one in the fluid mechanics. So you might have seen this Kozny-Karman equation, Argon equation in the fluidized bed or fixed bed. Same type of beds will be there, but there in the fluid mechanics, the solids don't have any role to play except to control the flow rates and everything. But here the solids is participation in the operation, in the extraction operation. That's the only difference in that packed column and here in this packed column. Then perforated plates. Okay, perforated plates means nothing but a screen type of material. Okay, perforation means some holes, small holes on a plate is called as a perforation. Okay, in the Telugu we will call as a chellada. Okay, same type of setup will be there in the inside that one. And baffles, in order to increase your flow rates, okay, shell side flow rates and everything, we will be conducting that one. Okay, that baffle towers also we will be seeing in detail. Then next topic will be principles of extraction. What is equilibrium? What is phase equilibrium? What are the phase compositions? Okay, when we are just giving some feed, so this extraction or leaching operation, there will be two products. One is a top product, one is a bottom product, or we can say extract and raffinate. We can say, okay, heavy phase we can say, and the light phase we can say. Okay, we can call with any type of name there. So what type of compositions are there in each phase we have to study in detail. How far it will take to reach an equilibrium of that particular stage operation we have to see. Then here the triangular diagrams will be used. Until in the 4th unit we will be using the normal graph paper. Okay, square box graph paper. Okay, normal graph paper we will be using. But the graph paper here will be a different triangular graph paper we will be using this one. Okay, that we will see in detail. Then equilibrium line, plate point, all this we will be seeing in the graphical procedure of this triangular diagram. So this triangular diagram, it is not must and should to use a triangular diagram. Many problems we will be dealing with normal graph paper only for the convenience. I will show you that triangular diagram also. Then single stage operation, multi-stage cross current operation, okay, single stage operation, then multi-stage counter current operation, all this operation. If you don't want to use a single stage operation, if you want more efficiency or more separation, then we have to go for the multi-stage operation. Whenever there is a multi-stage operation, there is one question there in our mind, that is we have to connect the streams in a co-current flow or the counter current flow or the cross current flow. All this we are going to see in the multi-stage cross current, counter current, co-current, everything we are going to see here. So some problems we will be solving in each unit. So the prescribed book for this particular mass transfer course is a Robert E. Treball, Mass Transfer Operations. Preferably you can use this 3rd edition, which is published by McGraw-Hill International Publishing Company or McGraw-Hill International Edition we can call. So this you can find in the library, or otherwise I will be sharing a soft copy with you. Okay, I have a soft copy for this one. So this is the prescribed and essential book for you. Then as a supplementary, you can read some suggested readings like McCabe, Unit Operations of Chemical Engineering by McCabe. Okay, this one Warren L. McCabe, Julian C. Smith, and Peter Harrier. Okay, we will be saying this as a McCabe book. So that McCabe book you might have seen the fluid mechanics course. You can take the same book, 5th edition, preferably 5th edition. So every topic will be there. So the prescribed book will be here in this one, Treball book only. But as a supplementary, you can use these two books. The next one is a Badger and Banchero. So Introduction to Chemical Engineering, which is published by McGraw-Hill International Edition only. So you can use these 3 books. But the prescribed book and the standard book for this course is Robert E. Tribal by the Mass Transfer Operations. Whereas as a supplementary materials or in addition, if you required anything, you can use this McCabe book as well as this Introduction to Chemical Engineering, or you can use Mass Transfer Operations by B.K. Datta, by the Indian author. So all these are the foreign authors, okay, international editions, but the Indian authors will be there. So for the Indian authors, Mass Transfer Operation 1 by K.A. Gawani, we can say, then Mass Transfer Operations by B.K. Datta, we can say. Okay, B.K. Datta means Binay Kumar Datta. So you can use that also. I have a soft copy. Those who are interested, just put a message to me. I will be sharing with you the soft copy. If you are more interested in a hard copy, go to the library and just take this one. Or otherwise, you can purchase this also. So it cost will be around 500 for textbook, paperback textbook. You can just purchase that one. Yeah, this is the complete introduction about the syllabus. If you want anything, any doubt or anything, okay, if you feel difficulty, what are your requirements, everything you can discuss here. Okay, still 15 minutes are there. Try to discuss this one. From next unit onwards, we are going to learn the first unit. I am going to start the first unit, which is a diffusion. Before coming to this unit, you just revise your CPP course once again, chemical process principles once again, as well as the fluid mechanics to some extent. Not all the parts, all the topics. Just quickly, you just go through the 2 courses. That will be very informative as well as very useful for this course to go further. Okay. Okay, any doubts from your side or any suggestions? Am I audible to you? Nobody is interacting. Yeah, then please try to ask something or try to try to interact with me, and it will be very easy. No, I will be familiarized with your intentions, whether you are understanding or not, everything. Okay. Similarly, you just go through this one. So videos from this for your seniors. I have taken that. Put the same lessons into your YouTube channel. You just go to there and subscribe the channel. Then you can use the videos which are there previously. So before coming to every class, just try to watch that video and come, or otherwise just revise the topic. Okay, I will be saying you in the next class I am going to cover this topic. Okay, you just revise that a particular topic from the textbook or the notebook, or otherwise just simply go to the YouTube and watch that video and come. Okay, whenever you are making familiarized with you, whenever you are coming here, you can ask the little bit doubts. Okay, after doubts clearance, you will be understanding, you will be expert in that particular topic. Okay, remember the 3 things to perform in your courses, especially in the engineering courses, chemical engineering courses. I will say the preview, listen, and then review. Okay, first you have to review the topic. Okay, tomorrow I am going to take this diffusion topic. Okay, I will be saying that one diffusion topic. I am going to cover that one. So you just revise quickly. That is called as a preview. After previewing about that topic, you just come here and listen to me whatever I am covering that one. After just listening to that particular topic, you will be having some glance, okay, some glimpses of that particular topic. After having some glimpses of that particular topic, you can understand what is the previous what is the intention of a textbook. For example, if you are taking example as a textbook, you are referring to that textbook and coming, some weird terminology is there, some other parameter is there that may be similar to whatever I am saying, but you might have to connect that both the terminology with the textbook as well as me, or with the previous lecture which I have given earlier, or this lecture. You have to connect that one. Okay, to connect that one, you have to learn more. You have to review, you have to preview that one and then come. Then you can easily ask me what are the questions. Okay, after you are asking what are the questions, you will be expert in that one, asking questions. Okay, clarifying your doubts. After clarifying your doubts, you will be expert. Then after going to home, you just once again revise that particular topic. So you need not to do one day batting before the examination. Okay, you need not to open the book before the examination. Okay, that will not enrich your knowledge. You can score a marks before doing one by just doing one day batting or one day study before the exam, but your knowledge will not be enhanced. This course, especially the mass transfer course, will be used in every industry. Okay, no doubt in that. Whether it may be a pharmaceutical industry, whether it may be a water plant, or whether it may be a simple small petroleum industry or some metallurgical industry, whatever the industry as an example you just take. So in every industry, mass transfer operation will be there. If you learn these basics very much, then it will be very easy to adopt that particular industry. Otherwise, it's very difficult for you. Okay, usually people will go to the industry, their managers or their assistant manager, whoever are there, you may be joining as a supervisor, or you may be joining as some graduate engineering trainee, or get or something else. Okay, management training. So your boss, immediate boss, okay, next boss, like the assistant manager or general manager, may be asking you to design that particular extraction column, or to design the distillation column, or to design some diffuser simply, or he may be asking you to calculate what is the parameter that is required to operate this distillation column, whether we are operating to the maximum efficiency of that column or not. Okay, he may be asking you the question. Whenever he is asking you the question, if you are putting your face as a blank, then there is no point of your growth in that industry. Okay, that they are looking clearly. Whenever you are climbing that you have learned the mass transfer operation, you will be somewhat basically knowledgeable in that particular subject. Otherwise, it's not at all usable for you to learn these courses. So before one day batting, don't think that engineering courses can be completed using one day before the exam like this. So syllabus is very huge, topics are very clumsy or complex topics are there. So you have to learn every day. Day by day, the difficulty level will be increased. From one difficulty level to other difficulty, you will be going. For example, diffusion chapter will be very easy. Then next one, distillation, somewhat toughness will be increased. Why? Because whatever the topics we have covered here, that will be that we are going to use in the remaining chapters. Then distillation, here a simple derivations will be there in the second unit. Then coming to the third unit, the same distillation, but the toughness will be increased. Okay, graphical procedures will be involved. What type of procedure you have to adopt there? Okay, what type of equations you have to adopt there? It will be going to add a difficulty in the next courses. Then after covering all these three units, then the difficulty level in the leaching operation is furthermore. Okay, you have to deal with a two simultaneous graphs. Okay, until the unit 3 you have to deal using one graph. Okay, but the simultaneous two graphs will be very hard when you are dealing with the leaching operation. Similarly, here in the extraction operation, the difficulty level will be further increased. Why? Because we have to use a triangular graph paper, or we have to use a simultaneous two graphs. Okay, simultaneously two graphs. I will show you one example, this one. So in this PPT, if you see this one, the last part, so simultaneously two graphs at a time we have to operate that one. Depending on one graph, the other graph we have to draw that one. So the difficulty level will be very, very high here. Okay, this type of weird graphs will be encountered there. Then apart from this one, there will be a triangular graph paper will also be there. You have to deal that one. You have to read. If you know the two component composition, a third component composition will be easily, you can get easily that one. Okay, then graph paper. Yeah, graph paper here. Okay, this one. Just see, this is a triangular graph paper. So this will be one composition, this will be another composition, this will be a third composition. Okay, mixture of three components we can easily evaluate using this graph paper. If you know the two compositions, the third composition you can easily find using the graph paper, triangular graph paper. So I am requesting you, this will be, I am just alerting you, this will be very difficult. Okay, the difficulty level will be increased from first unit to the last unit. So before coming to each class, you just revise that one. Okay, preview that one and come, and after going to home you just, or after your class you just revise that one. So that will be adding up to your knowledge, and it will be easy during your classes as well as during your examination. Okay, that's what I want to say. Is anything you want to know apart from this one? Sultan or whoever, this Pavani, Reddy, KCR, ACR, you yourself not at all interacting. And how come others will interact? Pavani, Sri Lakshmi, Pavani is there? What happened? Being a CR, you should be interactive, no? Sultan? You're on hold, Sultan. Nice. Okay, ACR itself is like that. Okay, then no problem. Have a nice day. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can contact me anytime. No problem in that one. Thank you for listening.